Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and I got them. I got new spy photos plus video of the exhaust note on the new Chevy Silverado ZR2. This is the new prototype truck they're working on. That's supposed to come out sometime maybe this fall when they're doing a bunch of 2022 Silverado changes. They're changing up front fascia, interior, lots of energy, lots of stuff going on at Chevrolet these days. And so this truck's supposed to be the Raptor competitor, probably a TRX competitor, and we can see it. So what we're gonna do in this video is I'm gonna flip the camera around a little bit. We'll go through these photos and then I'll play that exhaust note, kind of wrap it up, a little icing on the cake, because it sounds pretty cool. And so let's go and get started on that. All right, let's go ahead and get to these photos and kind of go through the screen. I got some information from the Spy photographer who's been following these trucks around and has a little more details than I have. You can see them all laid out together. Those are some Silverados with, looks like a Trail Boss idea, which is what they're saying is a ZR2. So you can take that Trail Boss and build on top of it. So we'll see the close-up photos here of the shocks in just a minute, but the tires are prototype 275/70R18 Goodyear Wrangler Territory rubber. They differ from the current Trail Boss's 275/65R18s. So a little bit different, a little bit wider. So while I'm not a match for the Raptor's 35-inch and 37-inch tire options, this is apparently Silverado ZR2 prototype has an increase from 32 to 33-inch tires. Still early development, so they could do some stuff later, but these are the little bit taller tires than the Trail Boss. There's a ZR2 style bumper and front end skid plate hidden by the fake bumper corner caps. So you can kind of see the corner caps there. Those are designed to hide new features we're working on. The most noteworthy visual element of the new Silverado prototype is the redesigned front bumper. It's going to offer better off-road clearance. You can see that bumper is going to be more off-road clearance. The caps are bungeed in place for engine removal, more extreme off-road testing. If you remove those front fake bumper caps, easy to see a front bumper shaped much like the Colorado ZR2, where it's got the kick in there. With heavily exposed front tires, max optimum approach angles. Also noteworthy is the bold skid plate, which isn't found in a standard Trail Boss. As you can see going around, we can see that front end a little bit different there. And then we're going to get around to these shocks here in just a second as we go through these photos. You can see that front fascia. There's new headlight design they're kind of working on. Looks like a new grille setup. The Trail Boss grille had some controversy, and the whole front end of the 2019 Silverado had a bunch of controversy as far as how it looked. And so there's looks like some changes there. We still got, people talk about this all the time, we still got a fin on top of the cab, and we still have the antenna. And the reason why is the antenna gives better AM and FM signal quality versus the fin. The fin does better for signals from like satellite radio. That's why you have both. I know a lot of people have controversy about this, but there's a reason why. The mirrors look the same. The body looks the same. What I'm hearing is the interior is going to be more matched to what the new Tahoe interior looks like. Probably a bigger screen, all redone interior. That was one of their big misses when they did the 2019 model as far as how it looked. I'm going to escape here. I'm going to go get to the suspension here in a second. This is what I'm going to get to. Here we go. Let's get to the suspension. So this is a close-up of the suspension. We can see the inverted shock. You have shocks that are inverted. One goes this way, one goes the other way. It helps with ride quality, helps with less of axle, what they call it, axle swap or drag. I forget the terminology for that. Been a while since I hung out with the engineers. We're seeing the lower end of that boot on that shock. Now there's conversation whether it's going to be the same Multimatic DSSV or if it's going to be a shock that's like a prototype of something else. You can see it's fully covered with that plastic, which is interesting because we can't really see all the way top. But if you look at this photo, let me go back to this photo. Sorry, you can see along the top there, that's that plastic covering. Now that looks very similar to what the Multimatic shocks do look like. And so there you go. There's that DSSV shock. That was the shock they developed for the Corvette that they now developed for the Colorado. And you can see that where it's mounted, it's traditional mount placement. The one thing I was talking to my friend of mine about this, and it was kind of interesting, was that you can see where the bottom of the shock is. It's actually a little bit lower than the pumpkin. And they've always been some conversation about how the Colorado has problems sometimes off-road because your lowest point isn't the pumpkin. It's now the shock, which is kind of an interesting placement there. So there you go. There are the photos of the shocks and suspension of the Silverado ZR2. Let's play the video. So I mean, there's your standard Silverado. Right? This is it. So that wasn't so great, right? I mean, it's great. It's not great. It's one of those things. It's interesting. It's like, the Raptor and not the Raptor, the TRX had such a great exhaust note. The Raptor got a bunch of crud for not having good exhaust note. People are hoping the Raptor R will have the V8 and have the better exhaust note. But that exhaust note it's kind of icing on the cake for all these photos, but it still leaves a lot to be desired. And it makes me wonder, like, they're not going to supercharge this. They're talking just a 6.2 liter V8 in there. They're not going to try to get 1,000 foot-pounds of torque or horsepower, any of those numbers, or 700, excuse me, for the Ram. They're not going to compete with that. They're not doing bigger tires. I mean, is it kind of a dud already? That's kind of my question for you. It's exciting to see Chevrolet do something, finally answer some of the competition in the Raptor and TRX space. But, when you see those photos and you see that stuff, are you excited for this? Is something that you're going to be excited for? Is it giving, like, I don't know. It creates a lot of for me. I mean, I like the idea of the Colorado ZR2. I enjoy driving that. I think it was a great idea, and they finally brought it to marketplace after we hammered them about that. But now this does make me wonder. So is it dead on arrival? Good. It's an interesting question, interesting debate. So put your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for this or not excited? You're going to say it's going to be another $70,000 truck that is not going to be very cool because I don't know why it doesn't make the exhaust note better. It's really interesting to me how that video came out and how staged these photos were. And a little controversy about these spy photos being so staged. But it is interesting. So again, comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Check the video out over here. Website down below. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you down the road.